Hi everyone, it's Lindey. So I experimented with Poshmark's algorithm for 2 weeks, and this is what happened. I know you guys have heard me say a lot that I've been really frustrated with eBay lately, and I mean, let's face it, a lot of people have been frustrated with eBay lately. But when we become frustrated with our platform, we start to expand and reach out to other platforms as a way to sell the merchandise that we have for sale. So since I have been so frustrated, I decided to start experimenting a little bit more with Poshmark again. Poshmark has never been a platform that I've had a tremendous amount of success with. I didn't really like a lot of the premise of Poshmark, where like the sharing is involved, the parties, and all that kind of thing. There are a lot of aspects of Poshmark that I do like, just a few that I don't, but I've never like was raking in the sales with Poshmark, and I think I know why. I've spoken with a few sellers on Poshmark. That, coupled with my little 2-week-long experiment, I think I can understand why I haven't had as many sales on Poshmark. And if you are trying out Poshmark and you don't have a lot of sales either, this might be why. So you might find this video helpful. So the number one thing that was in common with the Poshmark sellers that I spoke with that are doing very well, the one common factor that they all have is a very large number of followers. And this is kind of the premise of Poshmark that I didn't like all too much. Meaning, if you are smaller and you don't have a lot of followers, then your stuff is a little bit harder to find. Now, this is not true in every case. There are exceptions to the rule. It definitely does depend on the merchandise that you're selling, your prices, and how you are, sharing your how you're sharing your listings on Facebook and Twitter and everything like that. There is lots of reasons why a smaller seller can do fine, but if you're selling more common items and you're having a lot of trouble moving your stuff, the reason might be your followers. That is the one thing all of the people killing it on Poshmark had in common, was that they all had a lot of followers. So now, how do you get followers? It takes time. You have to go in, you have to follow people, you have to let them follow you back. You have to be visible enough for people to find you, and that can take time. So Poshmark is definitely not one of those platforms that you just hop on and you just start killing it right away. It does take time to build up your closet, and it takes time to build up your followers. Okay, so now that I got the whole followers thing out of the way, let's talk about the real reason I wanted to do this video. I wanted to talk about Poshmark's 30-minute method. Now, this is something you either might have heard before or not heard before. It's a lot of talk in the Poshmark community. There are videos about it. There are blog posts about it. There's even photo graphics outlining it if you wanted to follow it. So I had figured, well, I'll give it a try and I'll see what happens. So I played around with it for 2 weeks, and this was the outcome. So what I found is that Poshmark is a lot like any selling platform. The algorithms really like active sellers, and those active sellers get a little bit of a boost in search and visibility within the system. So the 30-minute method is a really good way for you to be super active in Poshmark without spending all day long on Poshmark. So first, I want to tell you exactly what the 30-minute method is, tell you exactly how I utilized it and what the outcome was. So the 30-minute method is a system that takes about 30 minutes to complete, and you have to do it every single day. The very first thing that you do in the 30-minute method is you edit share 30 of your items. Edit share basically means you open up your item, you click edit, and then you don't change anything unless you want to. You just keep hitting the top corner until you hit list again, and then you reshare it as an edited post. Now, you didn't technically edit anything unless you opted to, but it still refreshes the listing within Poshmark. Now, I don't know for sure, but I would suspect that this is a little bit like hitting sell similar within eBay. I could be right, I could be wrong, but edit sharing is a little different than just regular sharing because it completely refreshes your item. So you do that with 30 items. The next thing that you want to do is list 3 brand new items. Now, if you don't have 3 new items to relist, now, if you don't have 3 items to list, they do recommend deleting 3 and relisting them completely from scratch. So they tell you not to worry about losing likes or anything like that. I'm not exactly sure why, but if you don't have 3 new things to list, just delete 3 and list them like they're brand new listings again. The next thing that you do, step number 3 of the 30-minute method, is you want to go and follow all of your followers. You go to your closet, and in all of the tabs at the top of your closet where it says followers, you want to click on where it says followers and follow back everybody that follows you. This kind of triggers something in Poshmark, not sure what, but that's step 3. The next thing that you want to do is you want to go follow a whole bunch of new closets and fresh closets. You go to the main screen of the app and you go to the top right corner where there's the little person outline with the plus sign. You go in there and you select new people, and from there you can select whether or not you want just joined or fresh closets. And what you do is you just scroll through all of the fresh closets and you just follow as many as you can within a minute or so. And then step 5 is welcoming new Poshers to the community. What you want to do is go into the section of just joined, and you want to follow them and go in and comment on their very first Posher post and welcome them to Poshmark. Say something friendly. They do recommend that you do not advertise because that's just like spamming them, but say something friendly to them like, welcome to Poshmark, happy to have you here, let me know if you have any questions. You want to do that for 10 new just joined Poshers. And then the very last thing that you do is go back, and they call it sharing the love over the last 30 minutes of your activity, meaning go into your notifications, and if people are sharing your post, share a post for them too. If someone new has followed you, follow them back, and just continue down until you reach the last 30 minutes of activity in your notifications. So the whole premise of the 30-minute method is to get in a whole bunch of algorithm triggering activities that prove you to be an active Posher in Poshmark. And it allows you to get all of the activities done all at once in only 30 minutes a day. So now let me tell you what I found when I experimented with the 30-minute method for 2 weeks. When I first started getting back into Poshmark, I was listing items like crazy. I probably listed 70 items in a few days' time. Well, that didn't really do anything, if I'm being quite honest. I listed 70 new things in over 3 days, and I did not have one single sale. I was not sharing anybody's closets. I was getting some shares from my current followers. Every time I listed something new, I would get some shares, but I was not sharing other people's things. I was not following anybody new. I was not following back my followers. All I was doing was going into Poshmark and listing a whole bunch of new stuff, and I had 0 sales while I was doing that. So after I got a whole bunch of fresh stuff in my closet, I decided to try the 30-minute method. So I did the 30-minute method for 2 days and did not have any results. But on that 3rd day, I ended up selling a small bundle, which was very nice, especially because the 2 items in the bundle that sold were ones that had been in my closet for a really long time. So that was super nice. And then about 12 hours after I sold that bundle, I sold another item. So after 3 days of doing the 30-minute method, I had started to see results. And so I was gonna keep doing that 30-minute method. And I did it every day for a week. It didn't matter what time of day I did the 30-minute method. You know, there would be a morning where I would just lay on the couch and do the 30-minute method in the morning. There were times I would do it in the evening. There were some days I would do it while I was sitting in the waiting room for appointments, and I would just do it in the middle of the afternoon. It was pretty consistent with sales. As long as I did the 30-minute method sometime during the day, it didn't matter if it was the morning, the afternoon, the evening, it still triggered sales. And while I was doing the 30-minute method, I was averaging 1 to 2 sales per day. So even though it took an initial 3 days to start seeing results from the 30-minute method, they were consistent. I started getting sales daily for the next week. Then I decided to just stop. I just stopped the 30-minute method cold in its tracks. And lo and behold, the sales stopped too. That's right. As soon as I stopped the 30-minute method, the sales stopped as well. I did not do the 30-minute method for 1 full week, and the sales came to a screeching halt. I was still adding a new item here, sharing an item there, but I was not doing that strict 30-minute regimented system, and the sales stopped. So that 30-minute method really does work, in my personal opinion. Not only did the 30-minute method result in sales, but I saw a really big increase in my amount of followers. In the 1 week I was doing the 30-minute method, I saw an increase of a little over 1,200 followers on my closet in 1 week. And the week I wasn't doing the 30-minute method, it gained a couple hundred maybe. Maybe a couple hundred if I'm being generous. And you have to remember, a lot of people follow my closet just because they see my YouTube content or they see it advertised somewhere else. It might not just be organic followers on my closet. So going from 1,200 followers in 1 week to a couple hundred is a huge difference, especially from what I was talking about in the beginning, to where the more followers you have, the more likely you are to gain sales. So if you have only a few hundred followers or a couple thousand followers, gaining 1,200 in 1 week is an awesome first step in really growing your closet to get those consistent sales. Now, I will say that while I was doing the 30-minute method, I was not just doing the 30-minute method and nothing else. The 30-minute method, I was doing the exact, I was doing the exact tasks in the exact order for 30 minutes at minimum. Sometimes it was 35, sometimes it was 40 minutes. But I was also sharing in between, if I was waiting in line at the grocery store, I would go in and I would share as much as I could while I was waiting. Or if I was riding in the car and my husband was driving, I would sit there and I would share a little bit. I didn't just sit around and share all day long, but I wasn't just doing the 30-minute method. I would share for 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. I would still share to parties. I didn't share to parties a lot, but I did still share at parties, like in the evening while I was watching TV or something. So I wasn't just doing the 30-minute method, but the 30-minute method was the only thing that started triggering sales, because I would share here and there, but I wouldn't get any sales. The 30-minute method is what triggered that. So if you're really wanting to try to utilize Poshmark as a platform, I highly, highly recommend doing the 30-minute method, because it works. It works. I did it for a full week, and after 3 days, I was having consistent sales every single day. As soon as the 30-minute method stopped, the sales stopped. And that was a little sad. Are you a posher? Do you do the 30-minute method? Let me know in the comments below what kind of experience you have with the 30-minute method. I also want to hear some tips about sharing. It seems like it takes me forever to share. I do see that it is a lot faster to share on the desktop, but it's a lot more convenient to do it on my phone because I can do it anywhere. So let me know what tricks you have to sharing more, especially because I would love to become a Posh ambassador, but I'm really lacking in the shares department. So I'm trying to figure out how to really get my shares up. So I want to hear your Poshmark tips in the comments below. I want to know how you've done with the 30-minute method. I want to know how many, maybe tell me how many followers you have versus how many sales. I want to kind of gain a whole bunch of information because Poshmark, I believe, is a really great platform to sell on, and all these little tips and tricks can really help everybody. So leave them in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below. And if you haven't subscribed to me yet, I hope you will. Thank you again so much for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye.